I've come out here to Suffolk, near Aldeburgh, to take some time to zoom out. It's been an absolute mad one the last year. If you don't know the backstory, I'm currently rebuilding after a really wild year. Basically, cancer, having children, losing my dad, losing my business to bankruptcy, all came at the same time. And the last year has basically been this mad scramble to get better and do what I can to get me and my family out of this tight spot. And also to do what I really love doing, and I think what I'm good at doing, which is making things that people can make music with. And so the last year has just been a blur. I've made two things. I've made Scape Shift and launched that, and I've made Pattern Shift and I've launched that. And the last couple of weeks I've just ground to a halt. There's just so much. I'm doing everything myself. I design it, I build it, I do the videos, I do the shop, everything. It's crazy. I mean, if you ever run your own business, you know the vibe. So I just ground to a halt, and I was like, okay, I need to zoom out. I need to think about what I'm actually doing here. Like, why am I doing this? So I've taken a few days to reflect and understand, what's driving me here and what's important here. The world's on fire. Like, everything is changing. AI is disrupting everything in a way that I don't like, a lot of people don't like. And it's becoming harder and harder to be a musician. And so I'm wondering, what is it that's motivating me? And I think that something really important is changing about how we make music and why we make music. And I think we're moving away from a world where we think of creativity as a monologue, as a single artistic vision, to one which is a dialogue. And particularly, I think we're moving into a world where we dialogue with machines, we dialogue with systems. In the 20th century, we invented all this amazing stuff, multi-tracking, the DAW, plugins, like a bajillion ways to create, synthesize, and manipulate sound. But they were all designed as tools that would enable an artist to extract their divine monologue from their creative brain and then imprint that monologue on the world. And I realised that is just not the way that I think about music. I've always been into live performance, improvisation, and a key part of that is building instruments that you can dialogue with. And I realised that in that process, that's like the complete opposite of me extracting a creative vision from my brain and imprinting it on the world. It's me entering into a dialogue with the things around me, with the materials, with the technology. And through entering that dialogue, I find my voice. I don't somehow divine my voice and then imprint it on the world. And I realise that this is what's motivating me behind building Scape Shift, building Pattern Shift, is that, I want to build tools that help people enter into a dialogue with a system and find their own voice. And I think this is really important now more than ever, because we have sort of two very disruptive technologies which have some benefits, but also have some very nasty side effects, which is social media and AI. Because social media connects us all of the time, but it's a very superficial connection. And it also pulls us into this content lottery where we're trying to create content to get people's attention. And the attention that you get from that is so fleeting that it's very hard to build meaningful, intimate relationships. And then on the other hand, you've got AI, which is stripping all the creativity from its authors and pooling it into this central, de-attributed machine of creativity. And with those two pieces of technology together, we are completely undermining the way that we connect through creativity. And so I realized that I don't want to make tools to help people create content. I want to make tools that help people connect and find their voice and find their voice in the context of everybody else's voice. To find special, to find connection. And this feels like a pretty exciting mission to be on. And I'm still figuring out, well, I've only really just put a finger on what this is, what this thing is that's been bugging me. And now it's time to start making steps in that direction. So I'm already thinking about how we can build tools that help people build systems that become their own voices, and how I can help that. And also the other side is, I think we really, really need spaces where people can come together. Venues are closing. I think London's lost maybe even half its nightclubs in the last decade or so. And it's becoming more and more expensive to go out. People spend more and more time online. And I think we really, really need physical spaces. So I had this idea. I really need to get a studio space, apart from anything else. We're a family of 4 living in a small 2-bed flat, and it is unworkable. But also, I don't just want to get a little soundproof box where I can just go and be even more isolated away from my family. I want to get a place where a dozen people can come and spend time together and perform for each other and discuss things, maybe eat and drink and all that kind of stuff. So I'm currently looking for spaces in London, but I would love to hear from you. Well, firstly, if you'd be interested in coming to events at a space like that, and maybe even if you'd be interested in running your own events in a space like that. The downside of it being in London is that it's going to be fairly expensive, so I need to find a way for it to make some money, or at least pay for itself, because it's quite a big risk and taking on a bigger space. So I've left a questionnaire down in the comments, And if you're interested in coming to events or putting events on, please do go and fill out that questionnaire, because that will give me some confidence. If it looks like it's going to be workable, then I'm absolutely going to do it, because I just love spending quality time with people like that. So I've always been into live performance. That's kind of been my thing. That's what I started with 20 years ago, building cool, fun stuff in Reactor to mash things up live, and then going out doing shows where I could improvise. And pretty much everything I've done in my life has had some kind of relationship to that. But as the world becomes more the way it's becoming, the more I'm realizing that actually live performance, or just having an instrument that is your voice, and having contexts for you to show up and let your voice be heard in a context where there's time and space for a few good friends to make time for each other. It just feels so important to me right now. So yeah, this is my North Star right now. I'd love to hear from you what you think about this. I've also, there's a bunch of questionnaires linked down in the description, because I want to understand a bit more about, just the details of what people are looking for and the details of what people aspire to. So yeah, let's come together. Let's build tools that connect each other, and let's build real friendships. Because that, for me right now, I mean, if I'm honest with you, the last few months particularly, I've been hiding. I think last year was so dramatic and so intense that it was, with my cancer surgery, and then the collapse of the business, and then the GoFundMe campaign, where so many generous people basically gave me the opportunity to continue doing what I do. And sort of now that drama's over, and I'm under this pile, it's like a massive pile of grief and anger and frustration, all this stuff that needs to be chewed through. So the last few months, I've just been hiding, if I'm really honest. I mean, I've been doing what needs to be done to, to earn money and support the family and support the sort of growing momentum behind Scape Shift and Pattern Shift and everything I'm doing. But yeah, aside from that, I've been very isolated. I've just been in that kind of place where I've just needed to hide and try and get my head around a lot of stuff. But yeah, it's so important for us. It's more important than it's ever been to find places, to find contexts where we can really connect, and to find ways that we can express ourselves and build culture together. And social media and AI are not those. So yeah, I'd love to hear what you think. I'd love to hear whether you'd be interested in coming to events in a small space in London. I'd also like to hear if you'd be interested in me coming and performing at any events that you might be running because now, for the first time in about a decade, I've got a new machine that I can perform with. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of questionnaires and stuff down in the comments. I would really love to hear what you think about all this, and where it should go next. Got some more videos about pattern shift and scape shift coming soon. I'm working on the scripts for those. Yeah, progress has kind of ground to a bit of a halt the last couple of weeks, but yeah, I'll get back to those at some point soon. So yeah, more videos about scape shift and pattern shift coming soon. If you want to follow along the journey, do the subscribe thing, always helps out a lot. And yeah, peace out. Stay creative, stay connected.